Space Conquest, the future of humanity, the final frontier. Do you dream of being an astronaut, floating in space, seeing Earth from above, and exploring the unknown? Well, prepare to have your dreams depressurized, because life in space is much more than spectacular views, and you wouldn't last a day, especially if you like bananas. We're aboard a space station, orbiting Earth. No matter how fascinating it seems, reality is a constant challenge. Your life is a ballet between microgravity and claustrophobia. There's no time for luxuries, nor for eating fresh bananas. Your diet is controlled, your space is limited, and your mind is a laboratory of stress. You are a pioneer, and pioneers don't need bananas to explore.
Wonder mingles with boredom, and every day the line between sanity and madness grows thinner. You are an experiment in a hostile environment, and the only thing you can do is try to adapt. And a rotten banana? No one wants it, but it might be the only one you find in paste form.
Your day begins with a meal. Not a gourmet breakfast, but a bland paste squeezed from a tube. Space food is designed to be nutritious and compact, not tasty. You learn to swallow, to not enjoy it, to just feed. And bananas? They would be a distant dream, a forbidden taste. You miss the flavor, the texture, the variety. Food becomes a chore, not a pleasure. Meals are quick, functional, and everyday. The desire for something fresh and crunchy grows. And a banana, if you could find it, would be a treasure, but it would probably be dehydrated and bland. You learn to value every calorie, to waste nothing. Food is no longer a pleasure, but a tool for survival. And the pleasure of a ripe banana? It's a luxury you can't afford. Not yet. Maybe after the mission, if you haven't forgotten what it tastes like. Now, let's talk about something a little more cramped. Your house is a floating sardine can. Every inch is optimized. Every object has its place. You live, work, and sleep in a tiny space with no privacy, no freedom to stretch your legs. And bananas? They'd be crushed at the first awkward movement. You feel claustrophobic, the feeling of being trapped with no way out. The lack of space oppresses you, makes you irritable and anxious. The walls close in, and every day, the desire for an open field, for a horizon, grows. And if you can't handle it, your mind can betray you. And bananas? They would be a luxury you wouldn't have time to savor, because the next anxiety attack could arrive at any moment.
You learn to live with the closeness, to ignore the discomfort, because there's no time for weakness. Life is a struggle, and sanity is a constant battle. And the only thing you can do is pray that you're not the next one to have a breakdown, and that you've eaten your last banana, if you even got one.
And then there's weightlessness. Sounds fun, right? But microgravity takes its toll. Your bones lose density, your muscles atrophy, your heart works differently. You need to exercise for hours every day to combat the effects of weightlessness. And bananas? They'd float away before you could reach them.
You feel the weakness, the pain in your bones, the difficulty of moving when you return to Earth. Your body adapts to space, but it becomes maladapted to gravity. And if you don't exercise, you become an invalid. There's no time for laziness, nor for rest. And the only certainty is that your body will never be the same again. And there are no bananas to give you strength. The freedom to float is an illusion. Health is a myth. You're trapped in a game of adaptation, where the rules are fluid and your body is the guinea pig. And the only certainty is change, and the absence of bananas.
Now, let's talk about something more profound. You're millions of miles from home, with no direct contact with family and friends. The isolation is real, and the pressure of being an astronaut is immense. Every mistake can be fatal. Every decision is crucial. And bananas? They wouldn't give you a hug. You feel the longing, the loneliness,
the weight of responsibility. The mind is a battlefield, and every day the desire for a familiar face, for a real conversation grows. And if you can't handle it, your mind can betray you. And the only thing you can do is pray that your sanity doesn't abandon you, and that you've eaten your last banana, if you even managed one.
So, do you think you'd last a day in space conquest? Living on tube food, in confined space, fighting microgravity and isolation, all without a single banana?
The truth is that life in space is an existence of sacrifice, discipline, and superhuman resilience. They are heroes, but they are also prisoners of their own ambition. And with every banana they can't eat, they become further removed from life on Earth.
The truth is that life in space is an existence of sacrifice, discipline, and superhuman resilience. They are heroes, but they are also prisoners of their own ambition. And with every banana they can't eat, they become further removed from life on Earth.
Life in Space Conquest is a lesson in how humanity can overcome itself. They live in a world where they are pioneers, but they are also vulnerable. And they find meaning in their exploration, in their science, and in their belief in a future for humanity.
Life in Space Conquest is a lesson in how humanity can overcome itself. They live in a world where they are pioneers, but they are also vulnerable. And they find meaning in their exploration, in their science, and in their belief in a future for humanity.
So, do you think you'd last a day on the Space Conquest? Leave a comment about what part of astronaut life you think would be the hardest to endure. And if you have any suggestions for other historically impossible professions, let me know.
If you like this video, leave a like. It's worth more than a trip to the moon. Subscribe to the channel for more unvarnished stories and hit the bell so you don't miss any episodes. Share it with that friend who dreams of being an astronaut so they can see what it's really like.
Always remember, history is made of bananas, and astronauts learn to live without them. At least you can eat bananas while watching Netflix on the couch.
See you in the next episode of Banana Stories, where we'll find out why you wouldn't last a day in ancient Greece. Spoiler, it always involves fewer bananas and more suffering than you'd imagine. Keep your bananas safe and remember, history has never been so peeled.